Okay. So we are live. What's up, everyone? It's super excited to be here. Welcome to everyone. Welcome to this Agent Intelligence. We're exploring everything AI agents in Web3. We're discussing specific AI agent builders and also kind of thought leaders in the space. So for anybody that doesn't know me, I'm Francesco. I'm leading developer relation at MetaMask, but I'm also contributing to MotherDAO. So we're exciting kind of like new chapter around agents, providing public attestation, doing a lot of things that we'll deep dive a little bit in this episode. And today we're diving deep into the technology and the vision behind Float AI with Federico. So it's a pleasure to have you here and an honor. You want to quickly introduce yourself?
Of course. First off, ciao Francesco. It's awesome to meet
Same.
someone like from the same place and time. It's very rare in the Web3 space. Okay, where do I start? Well, I'm Federico Ulfo. Um, I'm an engineer, and I moved to New York like 17 years ago. And since then, I work in so many different startups at different scale, and founded quite a few. And but I've been for very long time into the Web3 crypto space.
Nice.
And something interesting, maybe I founded the Lightning Network meetup in 2017.
Oh, nice.
Then that merged with the NYC Bitcoiners, and now I'm passing the baton to the guys that are still running it because you cannot do too many things, obviously. Um, More recently, I was an engineer and team lead at Gauntlet XYZ. And then 2 years ago, I found Flow, which was at the beginning was like a Web3 indexer, and then it become now it's an AI agent launchpad slash marketplace slash operating system, and I can go into all of those. And
It's
all
big.
mhm.
You have
Yeah,
a
and
lot of
super
experience.
relevant.
Yeah.
Yeah, and super relevant to the conversation as well. I organized this group talk called AI NYC,
Nice.
and we do AI dinners, and it's like a community of top tiers founders, engineers, and researchers from the AI hyperscalers. So we have people from Grok, Google, IBM, OpenAI, like some of the major hyperscalers, as well as all the top talents in New York.
Nice. I mean, right now, like, is definitely like the place to be around kind of AI agent frameworks. I even like chatting with a lot of builders, especially on the meetup side, on the conference side. There is a lot of happening, especially when permissionless is coming on. What is it? June. There is Solana Accelerate. There is a lot of things happening.
Oh, there's so many.
Yeah, and it's exciting to be there for sure. But let's quick high level on the flow side, right? Like what kind of like were the problems were you initially trying to solve with this specific agent that you said, okay, I need to start flow because I see these pain points.
Well, a couple of things. Um, I'm kind of an early mover in every market. And so
Nice.
when I saw the AI, like at the beginning was like a copilot, the GitHub copilot. And I started realizing that, oh
So
shit, this
big.
is real.
Mm, mm, mm,
Yeah.
mm.
And the fact that it was able to complete my code and then by the month improving a lot, I realized that engineering is going to change completely in the next 5 years. That was 2 years ago.
Nice.
And I think me as a software engineer, as a job software engineer, it's probably done the way I used to work before. And when I say me, I mean us. All the software engineering is like changing completely. And so I thought very hard on okay, what's the next thing? What can I do that will be still relevant? Well, crypto, I think it's definitely gonna remain relevant. And then the other thing was like, I need to start an AI startup. I need to be 100% into AI
Yeah.
because well, first I want to learn and understand, but then also it's like as an engineer, I'm probably going to be unhireable eventually,
Mhm,
which
mhm.
kind of scary, but I hope I'm wrong, but kind of scary. But at the same time, so I started building these tools. I started with a Web3 indexer,
Hmm.
so an AI-driven indexer to pull data from Web3. That's a problem that every startup in Web3 has, which is like pulling data from on-chain, aggregating data from different sources, Twitter and Telegram, etc. So that's a very hard problem that many startups are having. And so I start with that, with the AI ingestion. And then on top of that, I started building these agents to talk with the data.
Hmm.
And that's where I start like realizing that AI agents eventually will become much more than just like I believe there won't be just simple new tools, but more
Yes.
reasoners that you just give some mission, project, prompt, and they go. And eventually they will be even autonomous and run on their own.
Yeah.
And so, yeah. So where are we today? Today we are in, we're launching, actually this week, we're launching the Ape agent. It's for
Hmm.
the Bored Ape Yacht Club. So
Hmm.
we're building these agents that integrates with their full ecosystem, and we integrate with their Twitter, Telegram, Discord, Discourse, basically all their community, all their documentation, and we integrated with OpenAI and with CoinGecko and Etherscan, and we can ask questions like, "What's the floor? What is the yield that I get from holding ApeCoin?" and other questions, and you can create also dashboards from it. And so that's
Nice.
the kind of progression. Yeah.
Nice, very cool, very cool. And by the way, I agreed when people kind of like discovered how first how is the potential around agency. When I think when even like DeepSeek came along and actually took a little bit longer with ChatGPT, but when DeepSeek came with the reasoning part, people actually realized like, hey, there is also a reasoning behind, so our reasoning can actually like help me further and can actually like collaborate with other agents. And then the second part, when I think people realize, is that
Mhm.
agents has been around for a while. Web2 has already a bunch of agents, but the fact that you can build agency on Web3 rails on chain, having always like this 24/7 like data fetching, it's another kind of like standard of building public, building open, and also like much more stronger value prop if you look at agent collaboration. So I
Mhm.
totally agree with that. That's why I want to iterate on that, because I think it's super important. But I mean, going back actually now to flow, like I know you're passionate about flow. I really like when people are screen sharing and doing things. Run me through this agent core functionality, or like if you have a demo, anything that you want to show everyone here and every builder out there.
Yeah, happy to show you a demo
Excited.
as well. Yeah,
The
yeah, yeah. Let
alphas.
me. Yeah, you get, so it's invite only, so you get some.
Nice,
Let me do it here. Yeah, it's invite only right now, so you can get like a preview, and
nice.
we're gonna probably open up for everyone outside of the Bored Ape
Mhm.
community end of the month. Yeah.
Yes. So
So
is the goal to go to different communities? You have a fine-tuned agent per community,
mhm.
or you're building this super agent kind of like model? So I get a little bit understanding, because now I see Ape.
Mhm.
How is this the strategy there?
Yeah, yeah, and the go to market strategy is pretty simple.
Hmm.
We believe that the moat as we go into AGI are gonna be only, there's not many moats. Code is not a moat anymore. And private data is a moat, but even that one resists for a little bit. There's a few moats that survive, and those are, well, the private data, community in real life community especially, because community they are like online and move with incentives can be vampire attack pretty easily. Look at OpenSea and Blur. When they Blur put like credits and points, everyone from OpenSea move in Blur and then back or whatever. The other one is regulations, and then distribution is a big one. Well, we're such a small player that we think that going launching this ecosystem explorer to onboard users in this community will get some distribution directly from these communities. So yeah, the goal is to launch all these small agents first,
Hmm.
capture the attention of the communities from the ape,
Nice.
I think is one of the biggest one.
Hmm.
But after that, we'll start launching, we're working on the Uniswap agent
Nice.
to do also swaps and other actions. And then the goal is to have all these agents eventually working in a composable way, where you can have like a router agent where you ask, find me the best yield, and that using some protocol, maybe MCP, maybe agent to agent communication through something else, but it can coordinate all these agents and then get like a strategy, and then you can execute the strategy and getting intelligence from all the agents. And so if you go to the marketplace, you can see we already have the
Nice.
Uniswap
Okay.
agent, the ApeCoin agent, and we also launch kind of like quietly, but we launch also an Etherscan agent
Nice.
just to talk with
So
the Etherscan app.
is the AI agent consumption through like a chat, or what's the format? I think you showed me actually the ape one before, right? So I saw the format.
Yeah, yeah. So this one, it's yeah, it's
Nice.
a chat, and we can ask questions like, let's see. Well, I'm scared actually to do Connect Wallet online because
No,
I
no, don't do it.
think
Don't
I'm
do it.
gonna.
It's all good.
I cannot do that online. Yes, but we can ask like, show me a random ape from OpenSea, for example.
So wait, the connection, why do you need the connection? Is for like actually engaging directly with your MetaMask wallet, or what is
Yeah,
the nice?
yeah, yeah. So you can ask questions about what's my balance. You can
Ah,
do
okay.
like a send like a send 10 ape to
Nice.
Francesco, for example,
Mhm,
or
mhm.
swap using the Uniswap agent.
Nice.
We don't have that functionality about the agent to agent yet, but that's the next step.
Very cool.
Yeah, so this is an example. You can ask a question, you can see the debug.
Hmm.
This might be interesting for the engineers in the room.
Hmm.
We have we're integrating with via function calling. In this case, with OpenSea, we have this function. And actually, let me show you this because that would be cool. What tools can we use? We're using GPT-4o.
Mm.
Not the fastest and not the cheapest, but it's by far one of the best one in performance. When you start using O1 mini or like the 4O mini, you start getting a few. Well, O1 mini is good. 4O mini, you start getting some wrong thing. But these are the tools
Mm.
that we have today. We have a charting tool, Google search,
Mm.
on chain to do transaction,
Hmm.
Etherscan, OpenSea, etc. And then we can ask things like, find me the ecosystem explorer, for example. This one, it's a cool one. Find me a post about grants from one of the social channels.
So you guys also build the integration with Etherscan, or how does it work? Or you're calling the APIs directly?
Etherscan, we call the API, yeah.
Mhm, mhm.
I'm expecting them to do some MCP at some point, but
Mhm.
right now we're using that.
Nice.
Big bull, blah, blah, blah. Okay. For some reason, didn't show the link. What's the link?
Using
You,
Chat 4.0. I see. It's really cool, actually, the debugging is useful.
yeah, yeah. And we're thinking to launch a version of this, but
Mhm.
grants channel. Cool. Search in Discord. Let's do this one. For some reason, it's not giving me the link. Okay. Oh, I know why. Because Discord, so we have a bug in Discord, and we don't have link yet. Okay.
Mm.
Yeah, for example, user cryptologically, Arbitrum grant builder, blah, blah, blah. So you click here. Oh, it took Twitter. But anyway, you get the sense. Now you can do research across all the social channels that are integrated and ask questions. They're like semantic. You can ask semantic questions because we're using a RAG in the backend.
Mhm.
And Discord, which might take some time because now we need to do login, etc. But okay, that you got the sense of how that works.
Yes.
Yeah. And this version is like a minimal version. We're adding a lot more feature in other agents because this one is our first agent that go public. We're trying to have the uh, yeah, we're trying to make it like work as best as possible with the reducing the vector of like possible bugs and problems. Yeah, what else can I show you here? Uh, yep, we
I
can
think
ask
this is super useful.
stats.
Yeah. So start specifically, yeah.
Stats about the Bayek. And right now is all textual. Eventually, all of these will be kind of like a more visual, but we're taking some steps there. And yeah, that's pretty much it. And you can see how this can become really powerful the moment you add multiple agents and they can
Hmm.
talk with each other. And you can
Nice.
run. Actually, let me see if I can connect my wallet outside the screen so
Yeah,
I can show
normally
you.
the wallet should not pop up if you say the share screen and not share the entire desktop.
Oh, I shared the
You
entire
should.
screen.
Yeah, then no, then no. Yeah, good call out there.
Yeah. Let's see which one I had connected. Yeah. Yeah. No, this is too risky because I'm connected. You can see the beginning and the end of the wallet, but the moment I ask
Hmm.
something, um,
No, no, better not do
it
it. But then what are the
isn't
function? So
one.
what are the function that, for example, you're pushing when you connect the wallets?
Right now, the simple transactions. So send,
Yes.
swap. We're working on bridge. Oh, here it is. Yep.
So can I
And then
do
you can
also multiple
do.
functions? For example, like, tell me the balance, run a swap, and with this result of the swap, get a loan on Aave, like something like that? Or is it
Yeah, that's
running
the
multiple?
goal.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's the goal. We're not there yet.
Hmm.
And for a couple of reasons. You're probably familiar with the smart wallet,
Yes.
with chain abstraction, and all the other. So the main issue here is when you try to go from let's say from one chain to another one, you have to sign the transaction every time you change chain. And so if you have like a multi-step transaction that move from one chain to another, then swaps that move in Morpho or Aave, you'll have to do a few. You'll have to sign a few of those steps. So we're trying to see if we can integrate directly another solution that does Web3 intents, or this is one of those situations where it's like buy versus build. Do we build this part or do we use some product that already give us that functionality? And to be honest, I think we're in the business of creating agents, and the
Hmm.
agents create their purposes the to create these strategies. But how we execute the strategy, if it's non-custodial, it's okay for us to delegate that. So
Hmm. Hmm.
um, yeah, so we're talking with a few companies. We're talking with Octo. We're talking with Selling Network and a few other ones to
Nice.
figure
Yeah.
out if they can offload that from us.
Nice. No,
Yeah,
makes sense. I actually like what you said about kind of like the agent to agent that you're kind of like been thinking about it and also like been implementing it. Like just curious more on the high level kind of like question. What is kind of like your thinking about agent coordination, or do you think it's something that is too early to speak about?
mm, I can share a bit of things, but I think it might be too early. Even the MCP. So March 19, this Wednesday, we're organizing this AI dinner. Right now, it's like 40 people, about 45, something like that. And our focus would be on MCP.
Hmm.
And as I was preparing for the dinner to do some presentation and like go into the MCP rabbit hole, I started realizing that yeah, it's still in beta. It's not like fully ready. You need to use it only in the cloud desktop, so you cannot really use it yet agent to agent unless you implement the protocol on your own. So I think it's going to happen probably this year because this is by far the year of the agents. Pretty
Hmm.
much is
Hmm.
like the year that
Yes.
we'll see all these agents implemented. But this is a question for, I can say, for NAPTA. So Richard
Okay.
from NAPTA could be a great person to ask because they're
Nice.
focusing just on that or
Nice.
specifically on that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's very interesting because also like I think some people are also answering yes. I think it's time that we speak about, but then also like my response is always about I don't see any kind of like standardization or framework specific for agent-to-agent collaboration, even having some specs being built in order to actually have these endpoints
Mhm.
kind of like standardized. So that's actually like a good answer there. I think even
Mhm.
concentrating ourselves to build a verticalized agent first and actually having providing value for the Asian consumer is something that is
Mhm.
even more important right now.
Mhm.
No, sounds good.
Yeah, great.
Yeah, so run me through a little bit like the kind of like the technical decision in your architecture uh, did where like because a lot of AI agent builders are hearing us, right? Like any kind of lesson learned from the building is almost what like one
Mhm.
year. What are kind of the things that you want to share? I know there are different frameworks. A lot of Web2 AI agent builder are coming with Python specific requirements. Sometimes we are not satisfying that around frameworks because people are onboarding with Lagrange or something. But mostly of the people are using Eliza, right? Especially now with the V2 coming. What is your thinking about lesson learned or things that you will go back and saying I will do that way instead?
Yeah, I'm generally a framework minimalist.
Yes.
The reason, and the more AI is coming in our help, like in building a new product super quickly, I'm like, it doesn't make sense to build a framework that will vendor lock you in a way that is like, if you need to do any customization, then it's like you get stuck. But that said, it really depends by your core business. If your core
Hmm.
business is, I give you an example, you're taking care of a laundromat with agents. Probably your core business is like figuring out how to connect to the camera, how to connect to the machines and whatever. So do you really need to build the agent framework? Probably not. So LangChain or whatever might be fine for you, or LangGraph to connect them. But in our case, we're building an agent platform. So we need to own and build the core business, the core structure and architecture. And so we decided to build, since the beginning, we built our own AI framework. And to be
Hmm.
fair, when you look at LangChain, it's a
Hmm.
ton of abstractions, and you probably
Hmm.
already heard this from multiple places. And what really an agent is, or what really, like, in the simplest way possible, an agent is, and I'm not talking philosophically, I'm talking like technically, is a for loop or while loop,
Hmm.
whatever you want to call it, is a loop that has um, like a list with messages. So you have a system prompt, whatever message you send, and then the LLM, there's an LLM SDK or API call. You
Hmm.
send these
Hmm.
messages, you get an answer, and the answer will be call this function or here is the answer. That's it. And then if it's called this function, either you have a like a switch or if or whatever, like a condition that choose what function to run, or you
Hmm.
can do that generalized. But at the end of the day, is this loop with the LLM integrated and functions integrated. That's it. So anything more than that, it's like you're overbloating and over engineering the problem. And so using
Yeah.
LangChain for this makes sense again if it's not your core business. If you need to
Hmm.
connect with a lot of different things, yeah.
Nice.
But if you're building your own products around that, just start from scratch. It's
Hmm.
yeah, Cursor plus Claude
Mm-hmm.
3
Mm-hmm.
Sonnet 3.7.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably like a week of work. And I say week
Mm-hmm.
of work because I mean you can do it in 10 minutes, but to make it scalable, make it
Yes.
with all the debugging, logging, tracing, scalability across like chain, etc.,
Yes.
across servers, that becomes a bit more complicated. And then
Yes.
add to that, to answer your question, like what decision we made. Well, that was
Mm-hmm.
one, probably the
Mm-hmm.
most important one.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Another interesting one is uh, I come from a school of microservices, breaking
Mm-hmm.
down microservices like a monorepo in microservices. But
Mm-hmm.
I think that was a mistake in our engineering history, and we're moving back into monorepo. And so in our case, we decided to go with the monorepo for the AI service, API service, the ETLs. Well, ETLs are more microservice, to be honest, because we use Argo, which is like kind of like Airflow. It's like an ETL manager, and each ETL is really like a Docker container. So that's a different story. But everything else is like living in in a monorepo and then run on Kubernetes. We're in a cloud platform. Other decision that you might find interesting, we decided to stay in the Web 2. So we integrate with Web 3, but we're not decentralized. And no reason to be decentralized unless we're launching a token. And
Mm.
it doesn't make sense to build something decentralized. And even in that case, it only makes sense if you need to launch a token. So let's say to get uh, funding maybe. But
Mm-hmm.
even in that
Mm-hmm.
case, I'm not sure if it's the right thing. And the other reason is sensor resistance. So if you
Mm-hmm.
need to launch something that is unstoppable, that makes sense. But
Yes. Yes.
outside from that, it's I'm looking, and I'm sorry, I'm gonna be a bit critical here, but
No, we need critical.
I think that a lot of these launchpad are launching a wrapper for shitcoins. Like
Oh yeah.
the agent today are just an LLM wrapper to launch a coin. They have no functionality that you need.
Yeah.
You
I mean, but you're
don't
not.
need an agent.
I don't think you're critical. Like the reason why also Modder exists in the first place is because 6 months ago, bunch of like contributors said, "Hey, we don't want to reproduce what we saw in DeFi summer. You remember all the DEX forking, and so many people got dragged. So many people, there was no social graph. There was actually like people were only judging very low, slowly like things, but it will take times, right? And the same
Mhm,
things is happening right now with agent that people actually like send like forks wrappers up on different kind of like frameworks. So and we will see the same basically agent creating value that is actually like forked 20 times, but for AI agent consumers they will not know. That's why like there is a need for actually like a trust reputation system fully on chain for agent. Oh, it's always popping. But mostly important, not just social graphs, but also like having some public registry that is actually like a public attestation on chain, so that you can actually revise, and any AI agent consumer can actually say, this is the OG of the agent. This is something that I should care more about because it's providing it
mhm,
as a track record. But until then, we never know. So I think I'm very critical also in your line, right? That when I'm saying also like
mhm,
we don't want to see the same agent being formed 10 times, because at the end the person that will kind of suffer will be the agent consumer that will don't know which agent actually perform the best. That's why metrics are also important. What are the right metrics for the agent? Sometimes volume is not good. But I wanted to ask you also, like because I see we're almost coming on time. You probably saw a bunch range of agents around, right? Like any
mhm,
specific kind of like use case that you see there are more promise, right? For me personally, obviously I see the social agent vertical and the DeFi agent vertical being the most useful for humans, even if we are not maybe building this for humans, because
mhm.
agent to agent interaction will be even more important. But what is your take on that?
How much time we have? Let's
In
see.
theory, something like 4 minutes, but we
Okay.
feel free to yeah.
Let me try to distill my thought and crystallize them, because We dedicated one dinner just for AGI, one dinner for agents, and so there's a lot there.
Hmm.
Well, we think personal agents, like the one that will shop for you, that will book like a flight, hotel for the next December. That kind of agent, I think, will be captured by Apple, Google, Facebook. I mean, the big one, they will take care of like the personal agent. They have the distribution, they have the power, like LLM. They build their own LLM. They have their own hardware. So I think the personal agent is in their space. Now, if you remove that kind of agent, you're left with, well, AI engineer. Um, I think there will be multiple cursor. So okay, there's also this theory right now. This thesis that I'm happy to share. Am I still sharing the screen, by the way?
No, no, but I can go in back. There you are. I just toggle in
Okay.
back your screen so you can share
Yeah,
anything.
let me take this
We
one.
probably
Okay.
need a part two here because this discussion is super interesting.
Oh, yes, yes. Happy to. DeFi agent part two.
Oh, this is
Yes.
nice.
Okay, so I wrote this blog post where there's this thesis that the reason why Cursor, ChatGPT, and all the cloud, etc., are successful is because we have this feedback loop that is really short. You ask one question, you get an answer. And then because the agent hallucinate pretty often, as the agent give you the answer, you can keep readjusting the direction and say, no, I meant this. No, I meant these other things. And you can go back and forth, and that by itself already make you like a 10x engineer. Agents like Devin is like a DCI agent engineer that you give a project that runs, write a full PR on GitHub for you and comes back with that, and also tested with like a clicking the application, etc. That kind of agent are not as successful yet. They're not successful yet because um, the hallucination compound, and eventually the result ends up somewhere else that is not what you intended. And at the same time, you cannot trust the results, so you need to review everything. When you go and review every single step, you're spending so much time that was faster for you to go step by step. And so I think that we'll have these phases. One will be
Hmm.
the short feedback, and that will be like intense. Find me the best
Hmm.
yield,
Hmm.
or anything that is like an action, like with a quick response, or even a little bit more extended, like deep research, for example. You ask for research, you get the response, and you can verify with the links so that you can trust that. The next step will be these DeFi agents. They're um, reactive in the sense that something happened and they send you a message and they say, hey, I found this action that I can run. In the case of DeFi, it could be Trump launch a coin. Hey,
Hmm.
I found this coin that I can invest in. Do I do it? Yes, no. And you say like a text message on Telegram or like an actual phone. You say yes, do it. And then the longest, like 10 years probably, we might have these completely autonomous agents that will run the market, will run companies, will run completely decentralized and completely autonomous, will run full functions. And so this is like a Kyle Samani theory of the zero employees companies, where you as a founder, you have like you give like a mission or a goal to this agent and they just do it. They don't have to go back to you, they just keep running. And so today it's going to be different than what will be tomorrow. That's the answer, TLDR. But today it's more, agents are used, I think, more useful for reports, useful for running short feedback loop actions and aggregating a lot of different data
Hmm.
and different aggregating different integrations like API, etc. That's today. Give 2 years, maybe 5, we'll have more agents that can run more freely and do things like trading and other things like that.
Hmm. Hmm.
And then in the future is gonna be, yeah, I don't know.
It's so
That's a long
difficult
shot.
to predict. Yeah.
No, that's too difficult. Yeah.
Yeah, it's difficult to predict what is happening. But I see, I definitely see like standards coming on. I definitely see also like different category being fleshed out. I will see also
Hmm.
like stuff like, similar to AXBT on social. So you will start to see metrics specific to actually define a success of an agent, providing value to both human or just the vertical. And then like there is different things like I'm always asking myself, how do we manage agents state and memory, what kind of frameworks or tool where will be more valuable. I think we will have like kind of like low code agent builders versus kind of hard code for testing purposes builders. You have different things.
Hmm.
And yeah, and then specific things, but hey, let's closing up, but give us like for flow specifically, right? What are kind of
Hmm.
like the next steps on the roadmap, and how do you see this agent evolving? I assume you want to go in also multiple spaces, like you mentioned in the uni one, so actually verticalize yourself,
Hmm.
verticalize flow in different kind of marketplaces. But what else are you kind of cooking?
Yes, yes. So we're the next step will be, I believe in the focusing on one customer at a time. So the next step will be focusing on the next agent and make sure that we're like 100% there. And then yeah, we'll start capturing more verticals. And then when we're confident and comfortable enough to distribute the work, we'll start doing the build your own agent. And so protocols will just like come to our platform and integrate on their own. So that's the next step. And then
Mm.
eventually in the long term, our goal is to become the DFAI project that you go to for managing your portfolio, managing your treasury, and running other actions that are like DeFi related. But we think that these are steps that need to happen incrementally, and yeah, and then we have a lot more ideas, but um, we're such a small team, bootstrap, been running this for 2 years, so we're just for now stay hydrated in our lane and try to ship and
Yes.
give ship the best products, and yeah, then eventually when we're ready, we'll put some fuel in the tank and accelerate.
This is the way. Nice, nice. I mean, Fed, thank you so much. I think you give us a lot of like kind of insights around flow, around kind of like ecosystem insights. I really like your takes also on the frameworks minimalist view. I also like being in opinion that you wanna be as flexible as you can as the developer, and not just vibe coding specifically, right, for agents. So there is a kind of like different trade-offs, obviously, that you wanna run. But I think for specifically the fact that you're also like pushing different marketplace kind of like ecosystem is definitely like a smart way to go, especially because different communities have different needs. So you also like want to fine tune this to each one.
Mhm.
And yeah, I mean, we definitely need to have a part two. I think that's super useful. And yeah, again, thanks everyone that also like looked at this AI agent kind of like intelligence. Fed, anything, any kind of takes that you wanna finish up, like any kind of like lesson for any AI agent builders that are hearing us right now, kind of anything you wanna
Yes.
say?
Yes, that's what I've been telling my team, and I think apply for other companies as well.
Yes.
When you work on AI agents, you want to usually the rule of thumb is you do 20/80. So you want to do
Oh,
um,
Pareto.
uh,
Yeah.
yeah, you want like a Pareto distribution where you want to get to 80%, and you want to get like something that is 80% good, like perfect, good enough. With agent, I think you need to stop way before, because a lot of the implementation that you try to do today, in 3 months, the new LLM will solve them for you. So rather than spend time fixing the system prompt, going back and forth, make sure that your tools work well. Make sure that um, your framework, your architecture is in a good place and easy to debug, and then trust that AI is gonna accelerate so quickly that So you want to build the, okay, let me change this one in a more clear way.
Mhm.
Build tool for GPT-7, not for GPT-5. Start thinking 4 steps ahead, not um, just building something for today. That's my take for, hopefully actionable take for whoever is like building agents.
Nice. I think that's a good closing, and a lot of people like should all the links that you send me out, also like the link of the blog post that you show, you should definitely share, and we can share it post the live stream, and let me actually like I will share it after. Thank you
Yeah.
so much. And I think
Yeah.
that's it. I think we definitely have another part. So thanks everyone. Also like for today's agent intelligence. Thanks so much for everybody coordinating. Thanks Fed. I think everybody should actually check out Flow, test it out. If it's in beta, I think they will need to reach out to actually get access. And thanks for sharing all these insights around the agent ecosystem. And for everybody who's watching also like and you're building an agent, you want to debate an agent, you want to actually discuss specific like technical topics around agents, we launched Modder a couple of like weeks ago. There is a lot of things inside, but for the builders out there, you can actually like share your agent or your doubts. We are doing also some like builders and developer office hours in Discord, is Hello Modder. And we can share it out that after, and you will see it in the profile of Motor. But apart that, I think we're good. Thanks everyone also like that coordinate this and Fed. Thank you so much. I hope I see you in some post conference, or please stay down to earth and ship. And also send us some links when you need to test out things and crash them. Like always, demo gods need to be with us all the time. Awesome. Thank you so much, Fed. See you
Awesome.
next time. Awesome.
Thanks, Francesco.